What up, though, Pride Nation? Welcome back to another Field Review podcast show. And if you are here and you paying attention, then you know it's about to be some shit in the game. Okay, it's finna be some stuff. I'm not gonna do no ranting. I just want y'all to understand that there's a way of thinking that I think is absolutely nuts in today's age. And it's not me trying to say any one person is right or wrong, but I just would tell you this: that it's some super smart people out here in this world. And I cannot be more ecstatic to show you them. If you are looking at the thumbnail, you will notice that there is a big blue pill, and it says, I wanted a quarterback, wide receiver, and cornerback. And that's because that seems to be what I am hearing on every other front from the other half of the Detroit Lions fan base. But I'm not going to do this by myself today, people. I'm not going to have to be at this all alone. I got some help today. You've known him because he's in the chat, probably lighting you on fire for saying something crazy. Or he's giving you big props for saying something intelligent. But either way, he's letting you know he see you. That is one Mr. JGB. What's going on, Mr. General View? What's going on, baby?
What's going on, people? What's going on, One Pride?
Man, listen, it is a lot. I do mean a lot to talk about today. Just so y'all can see, let me just set it up. I didn't go live yesterday because I needed a getaway, and so I took my getaway and I went fishing. I did pretty damn well. Me and the group did pretty well. It's about 4 of us. We all did pretty well. This is what we caught so far. Those are lake trout and salmon. Didn't catch no perch. It sucks, but we did okay. I think that's 17. I think up there I counted 17 or 18 fish. So not bad. It's good eating. Plus, most of it has already been fried up this morning with some cheese grits. Now, if you never had fish and cheese grits, you are cheating yourself in life. It is probably one of the best things ever. But yes, this is what we did in terms of getting our catch on for the day. So that's why I wasn't live yesterday. Now, let me hit this chat up real quick. We got Delusional Lions fan, Dr. Detroit. We got One Pride 40. We got, come on down, son. We got 1991 Max Stag. We got Antonio Jenkins. We got One Funky Lions fan, hard work and dedication. I'm coming on down, people. Y'all got to excuse me. First black man on the net. Me and him had a real good conversation recently, and it was a joy to talk to him and get his insight on the draft and things that we were hitting on. We have who else in the building? Make sure I ain't passing on nobody. Angelo's in the building. Mars is landing. Detroit fan man. Obviously my man JGB went back into the building. D-Map zoomed. Omar Pachico. I hope I said that right, but if I didn't, I do apologize. Y'all know I suck with names. We got Midwest Line. Listen, bro, but I'm finna shock y'all today because I've been practicing. We have I'm Not the Hacker. We have Midwest Lions. We have Cap Ice Cold, Antoine. We have D-Map Zoom, and we got Dejon Parker in the building. I get a draft grade of B+. B+ not bad. I'm not gonna kill you for that. I think a B+ is fair to give him. I gave it a C because I'm at the point now where everybody got an average draft class until they show me. So I'm no longer giving out A's and B's. You got to show me. I don't care what nobody did. I like certain players and certain players I didn't like. But if you don't show me, yeah, you're getting the average grade, right? You got this is I'm like St. Louis. You got to show me, or that's Chicago. It's one of those places to show me state. Motor City Sports is in the building. Let's see. Jack Frost is in the building. Got Mars, you landing already? Oh, Carl Campbell, you can hate me now. McKenzie. I think that's everybody. First things first, people, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not heard, the Detroit Lions in the past has signed a tight end, Josh Hill, who is now apparently retiring. And then they until today signed back a guy who was here with Detroit and one Mr. Darren Fells. So start off with that one right out the gate before we get into the draft. Some more of the draft talk and some of these super smart people who really should not be here. Let's get into it, man. What are your thoughts on the tight end retiring and the replacement?
Well, at first, when he first retired, I was like, damn, now we literally only have one tight end? So we're gonna have to
3.
scramble.
It would have been 3 because they had 4 even with Josh. So they had 4 because they had those other 2 dudes. I can't think of that damn name. It's like Threshold or Thresford or something like that. So
well, that goes to show you that I didn't even know who they was. So we basically have
good point.
Basically had one
Good
tight
point.
end, one legit tight end, I could say. And then when we signed Darren Fells, I was like, all right, Josh Hill. So he retired.
Okay.
Good luck to you. You know, I wasn't taking too much stock into it, but I know you got your views. So I'm gonna let you ride with that one.
Yeah, I think once I saw this, I said to myself that I don't think when it comes to this particular coaching group and this front office that they didn't know many things. And this entire time, there's been a lot of talks about who were these other players that was on the board. Now, we know that one of the players, according to Mr. Brad Holmes himself, played the same position as the guy we took first in the first round at 7th overall in Sewell. So I assume that the 3 players were Sewell, Slater, and Pitts. And the reason I say that is because it's mighty interesting that this guy retires after the draft. Like, bro, I don't think he just woke up that morning and was like, you know what? I'm retiring. I'm not going to tell nobody, not even the Lions. I honestly believe that they knew all along that he was going to retire, but asked him to not do it or announce it publicly until after the draft so that way they can keep their draft stuff. To me, I just have a hard time with the idea that they didn't know this was coming. Now, I could be wrong, JGB, but does this seem like something that they didn't know was coming? Because they said there were 3 people. They named the other one and said that he played the same position as Sewell, but said they would not say who the other one was for competitive purposes. And I was like, why? I think they always was thinking tight end.
Yeah, I think they must have knew then because they brought in Darren Fells, just as fast as Josh Hill retired. So it's like they already had a plan already. But I think they did have Kyle Pitts on the board because how could you not? The dude was generational talent, as they say, tight end. Plus, if you match him up with Hockenson, who's going to stop that?
Right.
But since Sewell fell to us, we just couldn't pass up on it. And he got picked by the Falcons. So.
Right. As Dejon Parker points out right here, 2 first-round picks in the next 2 years. I mean, that also sets us up for a host of other things that I think led to it, which is another thing that I didn't realize is I showed the video. I literally showed the video where they were celebrating, and it was brought to my attention that they were celebrating. That video you see them celebrating that's going around through the media, that was them celebrating after the Dolphins took Waddles. They were doing that celebration before they even put their pick in. And what further proved this point to that was, which I didn't realize that's what happened, was when Brad Holmes today was on 97.1 a ticket, said that he had violated the draft rules because technically, the Dolphins were still on the clock and he ran up there and put his pick in once he heard on the TV that they took Waddles. he's like, forget y'all clock, which brings me to my point. And JGB, feel free to correct me, but I think that they number 1 guy all along was Sewell.
I think so too.
Like, I think they got their number 1 guy, and that's why they could not help themselves. I think that. I mean, if y'all in the chat disagree, feel free to tell me. But I think Penny Sewell was they number 1 choice the entire time.
Plus, from them, just how they talk about feeding the beast and building from the inside and all that type of stuff. So and they want to be a physical team. So how do you get physical? You build the line.
I mean, it's one of them things where you have to look at it and you have to look at it and say, okay, realistically, like you said, you feeding the beast, you turn around, you take 2 more D tackles, and you just look at what they're doing, this inside out approach. And it really does get me to thinking about it. And it's kind of funny that you kind of push us in this direction. But it brings us to a point of talking about the hot seat, because there were some winners and some losers after this draft. But according to the Detroit Sports Nation, there are 3 players who are currently on the Detroit Lions hot seat. And they name Jelani Tavai, Deshaun Hand, and Terrell Crosby. Now, before I get into what they say and why they say it, let me ask you this. Do you think that those three names should be on a hot seat, or you think there's going to be more than just those three names on a hot seat?
Oh, for sure. Way more. Anybody that y'all haven't heard them talk about in any interviews, anybody not named Jared Goff, I could see Ragnow, Decker Swift, anybody else is on the hot seat, in my opinion, because they don't know what anybody can do. They've done their evaluations, and we're going in a totally different direction. So don't be surprised if some of your favorite players don't make the cut.
Right. So it got me to think. I'm just going to read what they said because it blew my mind. Here's what they said. When it came to Deshaun Hand, it says one of the reasons that Deshaun Hand, they got this apparently from Menke's. He's the guy who broke this down. But this is what he says. It says Hand has had as let me go back. Hand hasn't so much as hit a quarterback in the 2 years since the season, while injuries forced him to miss more games, 19, than he played, 13. Detroit interior pass rush has fallen into disarray, and the new regime spent its first few months prioritizing that position over almost every other. They've already traded for pass rushing D tackle Michael Brockers before spending a back-to-back pick on the athletic defensive tackles and Levi Onwuzurike. I'm gonna get this name right. Y'all not gonna deaf me today, damn it. I'm getting it right. Levi Onwuzurike. Yes, nailed it. Got it. And Emil McNeil in the first 3 rounds of the draft. Those guys were 2 of the top 4 interior pass rushers in his class, according to Pro Football Focus, which really makes you wonder what kind of future Hand has on this new defense, or whether he has one at all. I think that's safe to say. I think they definitely looked at the injury history and was like, yo, this dude can't stay healthy. Yo, this dude not on the field. Yo, when he's on the field, I'm not seeing him take steps towards being better than what I saw previously. So I think this is a fair assessment. What do you think?
The best ability is availability.
This is a fact. If you're not able to play, who cares? Like, I love me some Javid Best, but man, he was hurt. But when he played, though, you saw the explosion. You saw it, and so it sucks. He talks about Terrell. Go ahead.
Detroit fan man, you should hit Luke in the DMs and be his name tutor.
Let me see. Onwuzurike. That's what I said, right?
I'm just saying the way he broke that down, you should be able to read anything.
I mean, right, but I thought I said, listen, bro, y'all know I suck with it's easier for me to remember jersey numbers in the school. It's just easy, bro. It's these names getting ridiculous, bro. Like, how many characters is him dog's name anyway? Let's be honest. Like, like don't judge me, bro. Jack Frost said, just call him Levi. I'm trying out here in these streets. Jack Frost says, remember Holmes wanted to trade up for Sewell, so when Sewell fell to them at 7, they went crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's just more proof into the reality of it. But let me ask you, what do you think? Do you feel, obviously we know availability is the other one, but in this case of the next player who he describes, this ain't had nothing to do with availability per se, as much as it did with an assessment. Someone has to go to the bench to make room for first-round pick Penei Sewell, and that's not going to be Taylor Decker, who signed a monster extension last offseason and then allowed just 2 sacks in a borderline elite season at left tackle. Detroit has already said Sewell will move to the right tackle when he joins the team, which means Crosby claim to that job which is true. It's just going to be 100% gone entering a contract year. The only shot he has to crack the lineup is to beat out Vitae at the guard position or Matt Nelson as a backup tackle. That assessment to me, it seems fair. And I know a lot of people wanted to come in and we got Crosby, but Crosby has had opportunities to basically take this spot. He has had the opportunity to 100% be like, this is my shit. I'm taking it. It's my time now. And he just hasn't done it. He hasn't been consistent in pass block. Hasn't been consistent in run block. This not me just looking at somebody and saying I don't like them. The film say that. What do you think about this assessment when it comes to, when it comes to this writer talking about why he see Terrell Crosby on a hot seat?
That's 100% right. He's had every opportunity. Different coaches too. It's like
Right.
I don't know what you need, bro. Like we've even drafted dudes. We've brought dudes in to compete with you. They've told you, you're the right tackle, and you still haven't done nothing with it. So if we have to draft somebody again in the first round, then that obviously tells you you're not doing your job, bro. So you got to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things where you're talking about Matt Nelson coming in and doing better in his time than you. It's gut wrenching. It's gut wrenching to see it, and it makes me wonder why should they keep you? Again, he was somebody that I thought would be on the chopping block, just by virtue of the money you save. And then when they brought back Matt Nelson, it made it even more apparent to me that they're not so sold on him. So, go ahead.
And another thing that's so telling to me is we have the same O-line coach, Hank Fraley. So, like, bro, I don't know. We've had the same.
It makes you wonder. Now,
yeah.
The last person he talks about is Jelani Tavai. He says Jelani Tavai is in a list of horrifying, 100% absolute horrific second-round picks taken by the Detroit Lions. He lists Titus Young, who I do not think was a terrible second-round pick. In fact, I thought Titus Young was 100% a good baller. But, yes, he has some mental disorders, and that caused him to have problems. Tease Tabar, I didn't necessarily think was a bad pick. I thought he was a safety again. And they decided to keep him at corner. So, okay. Ryan Bros, I did not understand that receiver pickup at all. I know what they was trying to do, but they never really got him into a rhythm to get the passes he should get. Kyle Van Noy, I never understood why we took him because he was going to be out of position any damn way. And so that was a fail. Amir Abdullah is 100% fail. You took him when he led the NCAA in fumbles, and he brought that crap with him here. Michaela Short, I don't think was a bad pick, but injury snuffed him out. And it sucks. So, but he says all of these are busts to one degree or another. Although Van Noy has found lots of success outside of Detroit, he says that Tavai just is not going to be able to survive with the fact that they have announced that Barnes is going to play middle linebacker. So they didn't say start, I don't think they said, but they definitely said he's going to play middle linebacker. So they're saying that Jelani Tavai role in this defense is going to be out. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you might not be out like automatically. They probably still want to see what he got, but he has a role somewhere, special teams, something. Other than that, and he's just gonna have to prove himself and try to work himself in that defense, or else he is gonna be gone. But then, like something I just thought about was how Dan Campbell did forget who Tavai was, when he was speaking about the linebackers. So that's another telling thing.
Keidre says, can we please go ahead and announce Okudah to free safety or strong safety? I wouldn't want them to do it now because it takes away an advantage for you. Just let him take his work there now, and when a chance comes for you to use him in the regular season, deploy him then. But it doesn't benefit him. I just look at it and I say, at the end of the day, yes, we can look at it and see that this draft has brought people in that's going to take it out, and it's clear that they don't trust nobody on that D line outside of John Pennicini and Michael Brockers. Like once you get past them two in the interior, everybody else is expendable. Nick Williams had to take a pay cut, and he still may get cut. Kevin Strong, they voted confidence with 2 D tackles, and so Atkins.
Kevin Strong out of here.
If I'm saying Atkins, Strong, Hand, yeah, it just seems like that's the case. But it is what it is. Now, according to my man's MathBomb, go ahead.
Well, 1 second. With the 17 game season, isn't the roster boosted to like
55? 55.
Oh, only 2 more players.
Yep, only 2 more players. But you get to protect. You get to protect 1 player on the practice squad. So
it'll probably be a wide receiver or running back for us.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, Hey, it's one of the things you got to look at and ask yourself, what are they plans for them? Again, it's just the food for the thought. Now, Brandon Anderson says Big V plays guard well, and that's where they will have him. Don't see Steinberg or Kramer beating him out. I don't either. I showed film where him at guard was 100% better than him at tackle, at least for what he's going up against here. Okay, like if you just look at within the division and what he got to go up against 2 times a year, I see that being the case. But again, it's just going to boil down to it. Antonio Jenkins says he hopes that Steinberg gets a shot. He will at center. So they're definitely working him out there. So that's just the case. Now, according to my man MathBomb, he says that this Detroit Lions draft 2021 is by far the most athletic draft that they have had in years. Years, people. Stay with me. Years. I was blown away when I read this because I was like, years? Like years. All right. So let's just recap what we have. We have Sue first overall. We have Levi second, Emil third, Afitu third. You got Amara fourth, Derek fourth, and then Jamar. Is that draft class more athletic than Okuda, Swift, Okora, Jonah Jackson, Stomp? I don't know if I agree with this or not. I don't know how to feel about this, bro. Like, if you're looking at just comparing this class to last year, do you see more athletes in this year, or do you? I mean, obviously, you're looking at the D tackles and going, "Well, you got it in the interior." You're looking at Sue, and you know he athletic, but
Jamar, he's athletic,
right? But who's not athletic in last year's draft class? Because he said over the last 13 years, this has been the most. The most athletic in about 13 years.
The past, like since Patricia was here and a couple years that Caldwell was here, we would draft injured players too. I don't think we drafted an injured player this year.
I'm just wondering. I'm really wondering. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I have lost my mind. But I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting conversation.
I mean, if you want to compare position to position, player to player, then compared to last year, I'm literally just looking at it like this. Wait, hold on. Majors and Money says, just one question off topic. Why do we have fans complaining about drafting big body protection in Sewell, and then we'll turn around and say golf has no protection? Because that's what our fan base do. That's why that blue pill is up there. That's why, because we're going to get into that. It's not just that, but I think it's who they listen to. So if you listen to certain people's train of thoughts and you believe in it, yes, most of those people who do that, they listen to certain people and they believe in that train of thought. And then what they do is they take that and then they compare it to the fact that, oh, well, I play fantasy football and this person doesn't help me in the fantasy department. And then they take that into the fact that, well, when I played Madden had him rated as such and such because they know he garbage too. So it's those just a combination of why you see those two things. That's what it is. Oh, you know what? Keisha do bring up a good point. You got to also include in there the undrafted free agents. Damn it, I didn't think about that. I just didn't. I did not include in there the undrafted free agents. Fuck, okay. I mean, did I guess at that point it would be? Because you figure most of these guys that they added an undrafted free agent could make the team. So positions, so
yeah, so I mean, I guess that makes sense if you look at it from that standpoint where you're adding those guys in there. Who say that he's playing? It's already been announced that he's playing the Mike linebacker. He's not playing DN, even though he can. He'll get in on DN on certain plays when they need pass rush, but he's a Mike linebacker 100%. But what do you think though? What are you thinking, JGB? You thinking that this is the most athletic class since 2013? I mean, just showing you because I mean, do I think this class is more athletic than this? Let's see. TJ was athletic as hell. Jelani, I don't know. Will, no. Austin
No.
Bryant.
Hurt.
I don't know because he been hurt. Amani, I think Amani is athletic. I think so. That's 2. Travis, no, not athletic.
I think Amani's more physical than athletic.
Do you? You know what? Listen, I'll concede to you. So we'll just take Amani off. So we got TJ so far. Ty Johnson, athletic. I think he is. But I don't have no problem conceding if you disagree. Isaac Nada, no. PJ, I mean, so yeah, right now that class looks more athletic than 2019. Frank Ragnow, athletic, no. Well,
I think he is big ass jumping in, pitching a big ass fish.
Yeah, I go back to that. Yeah, I take that one back. I had to think about it. I'm like, that motherfucker do be getting up to the second level, and he get out to space. Yeah, I take that back. So yeah, Frank is 1. Carry on. Let me see, athletic. I think Carry On got the athletic ability. He blocks. He can run routes. I think I'll give it to him. Tracy Walker. I don't know if I would say he's the most athletic. I'm not going to say that. Deshaun Hand had the potential to be, but he's never freaking healthy. Like, that's the scary part. Crosby, I wouldn't say. All right, so listen, I mean, right now, definitely look more athletic than 2018. All right, 2017. Jared Davis. I think Jared Davis is athletic. You might disagree.
I agree.
Tease Tabor, no. Kenny Galladay. This is a hard one because I feel like he has abilities, but is he super athletic? Kenny G hard for me.
Yeah, it's like
just for the sake of argument, I'm going to say yes. Just for the sake of argument, Jalen Reeves, maybe, probably not. Michael Roberts, no. Jamal Agnew, I thought was athletic. You have to be able to play cornerback, to go to safety, kick, punt returner, receiver, running back. You had to have some kind of ability to do that. Ledbetter, no. Kaya was never given a chance, but no, he wasn't athletic. Pat O'Connor, athletic. No, that's the DN for Eastern Michigan. I think that's what that guy was. Oh, it was at Penn State. It's one of those 2. All right, better than 2017. Now I'm starting to understand why he's saying what he said. Because you're not going to convince me Ashawn Robinson is athletic. Graham Glasgow is not athletic. Killer Brew has the ability to be athletic, but I haven't seen it on display. Joe Dow has not been athletic. So we can just go ahead and write this in 16 off. Oh, it's getting worse. Shit, look at this. Give me 1 second. JGB, hold it down for me 1 second. Let me see what's going on with the kid, man. So hold it down for me really quick.
Lincoln Thomason, I'm pretty sure y'all think he's not athletic. Amir Famdula, if he can hold on to the ball. Shoot. Alex Carter, nah. Gabe Wright, nah. I don't know, man. We've had some pretty trashy drafts, if y'all ask me. Sad, yeah. Delusional Lions fans, sad draft classes. And then people wonder why we suck. Damn. This is pretty sad looking back on it, huh?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, and it is pretty sad looking back on it.
Damn.
You know what? It's a good point. Brandon says, Luke, you can go on MathBomb's website and pull up the athletic rating for every draft class. I know I can do that, but I want to physically look at the draft class and just remember what I remember about the players myself. So I'm kind of like independently trying to bring out my own memory of the players and then talk about them. But Delusional Lion fans said these are some sad draft class. Athleticism is current ability, not max. No one said AB was athletic when drafted, but then he is athletic once he showed he can play. And that's a good point too. I'm just looking at this damn draft class. Each one, because they sent down to 2013. And I can tell you right now, it looked like we still got the more athletic one.
What does that tell you about our scouts and everything?
Well, that's why a lot of them got fired. But I don't even blame the scouts for this, because we know for a fact that there has been a few scouting staffs who wanted certain players, and the coaches and general managers was like, no. Like when Caldwell was here, the scouting staff wanted Aaron Donald. And Jim Caldwell was quoted as saying that I thought we were trying to get away from those small guys and try to get bigger and faster and stronger. And so that's why we didn't take Aaron Donald, So I've seen that happen. And then you go just most recently where you had a coaching staff who wanted Isaiah Simmons, a head coach who wanted Derek Brown, and the general manager who took Okudah. So I don't want to blame the scouts in its entirety, but all right.
It's more telling about how they're drafting with this regime, instead of drafting for a scheme, they're drafting the players first.
Yeah, and it's a damn shame at that point. I mean, I guess MathBomb is right, bro. I wanted to be wrong, but I'm like, man, this dude seemed terrible. I mean, Darius, yes. Ziggy, yes. Larry, yes. Devin Taylor, I would even say he was somewhat athletic, even though he wasn't always given opportunity to show it. I thought he did a very good job of constantly going in between outside rushing linebacker and DN. So, but Sam Martin as a punter, we know what that was, right? Like even he was able. I've seen him in games like cut off a kick and punt returner because he was able to do some things. Corey Fuller, no. Theo Reddick, yeah, I would give him the athletic ability. Michael Williams. I don't even remember, dog. I don't even remember who that is. If I'm keeping it 100, I don't even know who the hell that is. It's not ringing a bell right now. Michael Williams. I know who Michael Roberts were, but I don't know who Mike Williams is. But again, damn, that's terrible. Okay, so now that you've seen the draft class, what does that tell you, though, for real? Overall, just looking at what the Lions did under this new coaching staff versus the previous coaching staff, what does this tell you?
That we like athletes now.
Yeah, it's almost, this is almost one part of it that you can look at it in terms of a formula, and you can see that it's about getting the athlete. Like we need to get the athlete is what they want. Because damn, these things look pathetic, dude. It just looks pathetic. No matter how we slice it, it is what it is.
Players, just go through and look at how many players we drafted that's not even in the league anymore. Bro,
this is just rough. Like I'm talking about, it's seriously rough. Now, this kind of moves me to my next question because this is going to lead up into the stupid. I'm saving the stupid for last on purpose, people. But this leads me to my next question, which is the NFL draft. So let me make this bigger. All right. So I'm trying to get this thing as big as possible. So this question came up because somebody hit me up on Twitter in the DMs and said that the Lions will regret taking Penei Sewell. And I asked him, who should they have taken? He said they could have taken any of these three players, and he gave it to me in this order. He said Micah Parsons, 1. He says J.C. Horn, 2, and Devontae Smith, 3. He said if we would have got any one of those three, those would have been better picks than Penei Sewell. So now, me, being the Patty a-hole I am, I decide to explore this option and to sit there and really ask the question, because to me, even if Sewell don't pan out, I can't kill him. The last player we took that was a consensus best player at that position, and it worked out for us, hands down, was Ndamukong Suh, who I heard people grumbling about. Surprisingly, I don't know how the hell they was upset about this. The time before that, we took Calvin Johnson, and people went nuts. Another receiver, not again, and it panned out. TJ Hockenson, he's garbage, and he had a really good opening game, had some other good games, and then got hurt, and then followed that up with a Pro Bowl season. So far it's looking like it's going good. And it got me to wondering, starting with you, JGB, is there anybody you could think of that the Lions didn't take in the first round that came after? The Justin Fields, the Micah Parsons, Rashawn Slater, any of these people that we're going to regret not taking over what we got?
Unless God himself, Buddha, Allah, whatever y'all believe in, got drafted after that, then no.
I'm having a hard time, bro. If I wanted to be a nitpicker, I could make the argument that Slater might have been a better move in some cases than Sewell.
Especially after seeing their reaction. How could you say they would regret any pick after that?
Yeah, but like I don't think we will regret Justin Fields. History is on my side. Like, why would I name me who's the last great Ohio State quarterback? I'll wait.
Especially after watching the past 10, 11 years of Matt Stafford with no O-line and all that, then come on, man.
Now, first black man on the net says, Luke, I need to tell dude to stop watching football. He doing it all wrong. It says we have to play to beat the division. That means we have to be able to play against the great pass rush we have in our own division. And it does start there. It starts with you being able to play to those people in your division who's going to get in your way. Because it would be nice for the Lions to host a playoff game and have the playoff games go through them. But it's just funny to me. Brandon Anderson says that's because that guy said to you is probably in that trolling stupidity club that you want to complain about anything the Lions do. Yeah, I listen. They getting stupid by the minute. Like the level of stupidity is getting at an all-time high, and it's scaring me. Hold on one second. Sup, Luke? My granddad passed away last night. He loved Refrigerated Perry. We'll miss him so much. My condolences, and I'm so sorry for your loss, Crimson Shadow. I know that there's no words that could ever be offered up to make you feel better or to make your family feel better about losing any loved one or anything of that stretch of the imagination. But I am an open door. Feel free to reach out to me if you need somebody to talk to. As a person who has lost someone recently themselves, hey, it doesn't hurt to have somebody you can lean your shoulders on. So condolences to you and your family. And again, I'm so sorry for your loss. What I want to do, because I want to make sure I give you the honor and give your grandfather the honor, because I too like the Refrigerator Perry. I think we now have another version of that Refrigerator Perry. But hey, who's to say? I'm gonna give a brief moment of silence for you. So this is for Mr. Crimson Shadow's grandfather, a fellow football junkhead like ourselves, who passed away last night. So we'll take a brief moment of silence. All right. I appreciate everybody for cooperating with that. Again, Crimson, yeah, you can catch me any way you can, bro. I'm not hard to get in contact with. And like I said, I'm always down to have a shoulder to lean on. So again, my prayers are up for you and your family and condolences. And I'm just sorry for your loss, man. And apparently everybody in the chat is too. He wants y'all to know. Thank you, everyone. So again, it's just about doing it. Like, I love me some football, but you're never going to have me do football over a human moment. It's just never going to happen. Sorry. To kind of get back on track a little bit. Yeah, Izzy, don't remind me. Aaron Donald's too small. Don't remind me. But to kind of get back on track, I really went through y'all. Y'all don't understand. I combed the hell out this draft. The only pick that I think that I might have we could possibly have some regret with is that first second round pick, Mr. Levi. I think we could have some regret there because he's the only one that I've seen some consistent play from, but some inconsistent play as well. But in terms of that first round pick, I don't think Devontae Smith is going to make me be like, oh, snap, we don't have him. Because I don't think Devontae Smith can be put in the same boat as a Antonio Brown, a Stephon Diggs, Odell Beckham Jr., and two of those guys were taken in later rounds. So I don't see that being the case. Parsons, in my opinion, wasn't finna change nothing. We got a guy very similar to him, and he's just I mean, like, we just got a guy very similar to him. So it's like, yo, I can live with that. I'm not gonna act like we finna cry with spilled milk there. Slater could come back to Hunters because I think Slater's ability to play all the offensive line positions and his time practicing at right tackle could make a difference. But I'm comfort in knowing that Hank Fairley, who had been following this kid Sewell since high school, trying to get him to come to UCLA, who has took Matt Nelson and turned him from a DN or D tackle to a damn offensive tackle, is going to be able to make him transition into a right tackle spot really damn well. So at the end of the day, I'm having a hard time finding who in the hell I'm going to regret taking Sewell over, at least in the first round.
Me too.
Second round, let's get down to the second round. I mean, before somebody said we could have took Javon Holland, he was already off the board before we picked. Before somebody said we could have took a cornerback like Tyson Campbell off the board before we picked. We could have took Elijah Moore off the board before we picked. We could have took Barmore off the board before we picked. We could have took Jenkins off the board before we picked. We could have took Richie Grant off the board before we picked. Now, at this point, we take Levi Onwuzurike. I think I did that right. I'm pretty sure Detroit fan go correct. Yeah, I had to say it real slow. Shit. Yeah. Don't judge me. All right. I definitely didn't need another damn tackle. So I don't care. Right? The safety, Trayvon, I think Richie Grant gonna be better than him. So, and I had Andre Cisco rated higher than him. So I'm definitely not having no regrets yet there. Calvin Joseph, I don't think we needed a cornerback like that, and I wasn't ready to take one here. But he's got some issues, and they said they didn't want no turd, so he wasn't an option. Another offensive tackle. You know what I love about this draft? Look at all these offensive tackles in the second round. Let's just look at this for a second. Let me go back. I got to catch y'all back up to speed. This is what I do. Okay. Look at this. Tavon Jenkins, Liam Eichenberg, Walker Little, Jackson Carmen. Look at all these offensive tackles. Samuel Cosme. Let's see how many of these guys is better than what we took in the first round. Because, I've been hearing this for months that we can take the tackle in the second and third round and take the top talent receiver. But I just want to see how many end up being better. But nonetheless, even in the second round, who in the hell was I going to be mad about? Anybody you see, JGB?
Not yet. I kind of agree with Carrick. Wish we would have got Jock in the second, but Levi gonna thrive here. I don't know if we're gonna regret drafting any of our players, but I think we might regret not getting an earlier position like a linebacker earlier or like a surefire safety earlier in the draft, instead of doubling up on two DTs. I get it, but at the same time, it's like, why not draft a higher position of need?
Now, Brandon Anderson says Jock had a heart condition that got him flagged, and that's why he failed. I read in another article that a lot of teams passed on him because they said that he was not playing linebacker at 215 nothing. They said that he was more close to like 198 than he was to 215, 220. And so that's why they view him a little different. But if you're telling me he's too small to play the linebacker position and he had a heart condition and you flagged him, Maurice Hurst got flagged for having a similar heart condition, and I get it. So yeah, I can get it. Will we regret that pick? It's possible. I just don't, it's possible. Like I said, this is the one position that I can kind of see maybe some questions, but my logic is still different because if with the way this draft fell, could they have went Nick Bolton? They could have. Could they have went Pete Warner? They could have. But they still end up getting a good linebacker that I'm not going to kill them about. Like, I'm just not.
My favorite pick too. Derek Barnes, he's one of my favorite picks.
Right? Like at this point, like if you look at the position that I think we needed, linebacker, and safety. The safety pick is the only thing that I would question because the very next round, Andre Cisco was taken by Jacksonville. And so would I have wanted Andre Cisco over Levi? Hell yes. I really believe he's that good of a ball hawk. Now it's up to Levi to prove me wrong, but yes, would I rather had him, over Kellen Mond? Yes, I would have took the D tackle over Kellen Mond. The quarterback not playing. We're talking the second round here. David Mills not playing for us. With again another offensive tackle. We had already addressed that problem. Joseph Osai. Well, we got that player. Basically, that's Julian Okora. So we don't need that. Cornerback wasn't high. And so now we get to our third pick and Emil McNeil. And the question now becomes, am I going to regret who we didn't get over him? And it's again, I do think this D tackle right here, Osei from UC, I liked him a lot. I don't know what I'm going to get out of McNeil, but the little film that I watched, he can move. I don't know if I'm going to regret it. Like, I'm just being honest. Could we have took Chaz Surratt over him at the linebacker spot? Maybe. But to me, Chaz Surratt is somebody that's got to prove me wrong. Like, I can see it, but this whole idea that we're just going to regret this, we're going to regret that. Would I rather had Diablo at the safety? Yes. Y'all keep noticing that I keep going back to the safety position. I wanted a safety. I think we end up getting a guy who could play safety and corner, so that's cool. But at that point, you talking about taking a receiver in the second round? No. Look at all these receivers that's good that fell down to these later rounds. And we still got a good one. And we didn't mortgage our life to do it.
I like what they did in the draft, though. They're building a foundation.
Here. These motherfuckers. Fuck you, Houston. Okay. Houston make me want to puke, man. I gotta hear this. Bro, I gotta hear this.
We the worst team in the NFL.
Listen, again, we go to have some questions. Ghetto Pass says exactly. We had to work on the trenches. That's the reality. We've done everything, but if you just go back and think about the last time, and I like to go by history. Look at the Lions. The last time the Lions completed a group was a D line. How did that go? It went excellent. It went excellent. I just have this hard time seeing these players I'm going to regret. Like I don't.
We'll find
I
out
don't see these players
like that.
Now let me get to the stupid. JGB has not heard this stupid yet, but we got to get to it. So I'm sitting up here, and I believe that was Monday, and this video pops up, and I watch it, and it's a debate with Detroit Free Press writers. This right here lets me know. I used to think, let me just be clear with this. I used to think that Carlos Moraz, wherever his name is, I used to think that he was just trying to feel the shock jock vibes of Drew Sharp. Now I realize he's just stupid. I do. I realize that not only is he not just trying to do it, he's just dumb. He's just dumb. He has no clue what he's talking about. He literally is spewing stuff, and I'm almost sure he's a fantasy football player, and this is why he spews this stupid stuff. Okay? We are going to listen to this BS because I needed somebody here with me to react to it. And the reason I'm doing this is because this is the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to end up with that damn thing hoisted above our head. Here's this conversation in its entirety. We got to do this. Ready? Are you ready, JGB?
I guess I am.
Let's get it.
Here, along with Carlos Menards and Sean Windsor, and another draft is in the book, boys. The Detroit Lions just finished Brad Holmes' first draft as general manager. Penei Sewell, of course, the first pick. Look, I mean, draft grades, they kind of are what they are, right? I mean, you really assess a class 2-3 years down the road. Everyone knows that. But in the moment, I like what they did. I like the first pick. Maybe I thought there was maybe a little better value in round 2 than Levi Onwuzurike, but he runs hot and cold with scouts. Some people like him, some don't, and they got some good value on day 3. I'm a fan of what Brad Holmes and the Lions did. Let's hear your thoughts, Carlos. Starting with you.
It was almost draft malpractice to take 3 consecutive linemen. I mean, that was just insanity. As you know, I hate the idea of taking an offensive lineman in the first round.
I'm just gonna stop it there because we can't pass on stupid shit. We just can't. It's not in me. I've never been the person to skip over stupid. JGB, you heard what the man said. Draft.
He must not seen Quentin Nelson, first round guard drafted.
Bruh.
Frank Ragnow, dude on our team, first round O lineman drafted. Taylor Decker, these are all foundational pieces. First round lineman drafted. And Dominican Sue, like you said.
Malpractice though. Keep going. Malpractice. I want every time you make a point, I'm gonna say malpractice. Go ahead.
What he's doing. What he's speaking is malpractice.
Say it again. Say it again.
How do they're Lions fans, we should start a petition to get this dude up out of here, man, because we don't need that type of no logic talk. Even Dave Burkett, y'all know Dave Burkett be bashing the Lions a lot, but at least he's logical,
Combat Sack says, would you trade Goff for Rodgers? No. And the Packers not trading Goff. I mean, the Packers not trading Rodgers. It's a $38 to $37 million cap hit. Who in the hell is taking that? They only got a little bit over 17 mil last time I checked, according to Over the Cap. They're not trading him. And there's no way in hell that I'm trading for him. I don't want to hear no Julio Jones talking. I damn sure don't want to hear no talk about no Aaron Rodgers. This guy literally sabotaged his team to get a coach fired and is now bitching he don't have enough talent. And now you're going to tell me I'm going to send him here with his big mouth, his big contract, and his ego to do what? No, I'm good on that. Back to some real sports. Let's just go down the list. I mean, he's still talking now. This is the best parts of it. He's still talking. He didn't just stop there. Let's go.
Stupid. You have too many other playmakers, too many other needs. Penei Sewell will probably be a very good player.
Can I stop you real quick? Let me stop you real quick.
Now, y'all got to excuse that. That is what you call a ad. They added this. They put a lot of ads on there. And at this point, the person who is telling him that he wants to stop him real quick is Dave Burkett. Because Dave Burkett at this point. Go ahead.
We used to call Dave Burkett Dave Brickhead. You remember?
Yeah.
Until last year.
Yeah, well, he stopped him because he not with the bullshit. In fact, his face is balled up every time Carlos was talking. But let's listen.
If the Kansas City Chiefs had an offensive line, do they win the Super Bowl? I mean, what is your? Why do you hate offensive linemen when that?
Or if Tampa Bay Tampa Bay doesn't have Vita Vea, right, or Vita Vea, do they win to the Super Bowl, right? Or their offensive line? But go ahead, Carlos. Let's not pretend that the team that won the Super Bowl didn't change their record halfway through because of offensive line play. Or, by the way, they got their best defensive tackle back, who they drafted in the first round 3 years ago.
A good offensive line may not always lead you to Super Bowl titles, but it always makes you a good team, a contending team if you have, some other.
And where are the best playmakers from, by the way? We're just adding questions to you, Carlos. Yeah. Where are the best playmakers in the league? Where were they drafted, most of them? But go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry. The middle of my sentence was interrupted. So, getting back to the great point I was making, you can find these guys outside of the first round. There were 6 offensive tackles in the Pro Bowl this year. 3 of them were drafted in the 3rd round or later. There was 1 first-round draft pick on the offensive for the Bucs and the offensive line for the Chiefs last year when they won the Super Bowl. You don't have to spend this kind of capital to find these guys. We've even seen in Detroit, the Larry Warfords, of the world, Dominic Raiolas, they were really good players, Pro Bowl caliber players. They were not in the first round. You should be able to find these guys. I mean, one of the points I made was Hank Fraley. He's a really good offensive line coach. He got Matt Nelson, an undrafted, converted defensive end, to stop Khalil Mack in spot duty, jumping into that game against the Bears late last season. He's a good coach. If you have good coaches, you should be able to get more out of your offensive linemen, and as far as the defensive tackles, like, listen, the first one was fine. Yes, you needed a guy, in the middle, in the trenches. They didn't get enough push. I gave that grade a B. I liked it. But then taking a second one, I mean, it was just like, what are you doing? We're taking 3 straight. And I hate to say I'm like agreeing with Chris Spielman, but as Dave pointed out, and as he said in February, he thought in today's modern NFL, you build from the outside in. Why? Because
all right. Now, first of all, I want to shout out my Bears fan who coming in here, listen to some good conversation. Appreciate it. We do talk Bears a little bit over here too, especially when the Lions got to play them. And I even have the Bear Down crew come over here and talk with us. And we jaw jag at each other about those games. So you definitely want to stay subscribed to this channel and hit the notification bell, because you're going to know about, if you see the Lions as your enemy being a Bear fan, you're going to find that out here. But appreciate you for showing some support. Let me get into this. He brings up the fact that Chris Spielman says you build it from the outside in. I could have swore that Chris Spielman said you build it from the inside out. But if he did say from the outside in, I can care less. We've already tried that approach, and it does not work. And it has not worked for us. I can't speak for other organizations, but for us, it has not worked. But the thing that he talks about, the Dominic Rayolas, the Larry Warfords, and all this stuff like that, give me a fucking break. Okay? Give me a break. Let's keep it 100 and really talk about it. He's naming interior dudes. Y'all notice he ain't named no damn offensive tackles outside of that. Was the Lions trying to fill an interior position at 7? Let's be honest. Y'all got to know how to see through the bullshit. The Lions was not trying to fill interior positions. They didn't need that. They already had that covered by simply putting Big V to guard. So now, as he's talking, and I'm listening, you're listening, where in the hell were we supposed to be getting the damn guard from at 7? Oh, I get it. We take a receiver like Devontae Smith. Yeah, that'll do it. Then we take the guard next. Well, Luke, wait, hold on. Well, Luke, we could have just simply got a Tevin Jenkins like the Bears did. That's how I say to that. Blow it out my ass. I can miss me with this bullshit. I cannot with this. I cannot. The history say you find your best tackles at the top of the draft. That's the history, not my history, not your history. That's been the history in the NFL. The best tackles are at the top of the draft. You rarely, and I mean rarely, find offensive tackles outside of the top, outside of that first round. Rarely. Now, interior guys, he's right. If we were looking for a center, and they took a center at 7, if you're taking a guard at 7, he needs to be Quentin Nelson. If you're taking a center at 7, he needs to be Alex Mack. And I didn't see an Alex Mack or Quentin Nelson in this draft. So now the question becomes, where do we need our strength at? Because it certainly wasn't there. What do you think, JGB? I mean, clearly he has this view that we could have did it later. We did it wrong. He didn't like the fact that he got corrected by his own people, Sean Windsor and Dave Burkett. He don't like that shit.
And shout out to them for doing that, and letting that be on record, for showing him how stupid he is. Because he must not, he's been following the Lions for how long? Saying how weak our line is, how little pressure we get on defense, how it starts in the inside, blah, blah, blah. And as soon as we address it, oh, it's a bad pick. You can get that type of talent later in the draft. And damn if we do, damn if we don't, right?
Man, listen, with all that talk he talking, right? Because this don't work. The last time the Lions been to the playoff, they had a what? A defense. And where's that defense? Where did that defense start at?
Group.
Right, but where did that defense start at? On the defensive line. miss me with this bullshit. I'm gonna let him keep talking, but I had to give him the Kanye West treatment. You know, I'm gonna let you finish, but Lou G has the best Detroit Lions contents of all time. Like that's how I'm feeling with this shit. This is ridiculous. Here we go.
Because those are the playmakers. Those are the guys that are hard to find. It's hard to find elite playmakers outside of the first round. You know, Martin.
I had to listen. I couldn't even get a few fucking minutes in without him saying some more stupid shit. It's hard to find elite players outside the first.
So he's already contradicting himself.
So JGB, I'm not the smartest, sir. I'm not the smartest. Is Stephon Diggs an elite player?
I would think so.
Antonio Brown, elite player?
I would think.
Okay. Tom Brady, elite player?
Depends on who you ask, but I would think.
Okay. I just want to keep going just because you know I'm not. You just don't find these kind of players outside of the first round. This is hard, man. I mean, let me just gather my thoughts for a moment. Is it safe to say that I'm probably more than likely going to find some elite players? Because I'm pretty sure that guy called Russell Wilson in Seattle, he wasn't a first round talent, was he? Maybe I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Is he a first round talent? I didn't think so neither. Okay, just want to put it out there. Was Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf? I mean, they seem to be doing just fine. They wasn't first round talent.
Nope.
Okay. Y'all in the chat, y'all tell me. Y'all tell me, people. Tell me in the chat. What is it easier to do? Find elite receivers, running backs, quarterback might be challenging, but find it because he really liked it, Devontae Smith. Is it easier to find an elite receiver in the later rounds, or do they got to be in the first? Y'all tell me in the chat. I'm gonna let Carlos keep talking because I don't got to check him. Other people doing it for me.
He could not draft an offensive playmaker after the second round. He did get field ready at one point, but I think it's just harder to go that way. I think you can find interior offensive linemen and sometimes defensive linemen. Now, if you have a stud, if you have an Ndamukong Suh and an Aaron Donald, these kind of guys, then there's something different there. A guy who's going to produce sacks. But offensive line, to me, is like, what's the main thing they do? They stop things from happening. They're the worst athletes on the field. You know, they don't really do.
JGB, he said that offensive linemen are the worst athletes on the field.
Did you forget that we have long snappers and kickers?
You know, I find it intriguing that this guy is allowed to write articles.
Negativity sells.
This guy is allowed to write articles. This goes to show you that everybody with a degree is not smart. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
Hey, the dude Lion King in the chat, if this was such a great draft for Lions fans, why so much negativity media? I haven't seen much negativity from the media. All right, we had top 5 draft in national media's eyes.
I look at it like this. There's negativity because it's the Lions. The Lions has a cloud of negativity over it. They've been the bottom feeders for years. And so people, it's easy to dump on them. You know, at one point the running joke was the Browns. Right? Everybody dumped on the Browns for the longest, but now they can't use that. They got to go up the next running joke, the Detroit Lions. And so the people who like the picks or don't like the picks, it's fine. You don't got to like the picks. You got to also take the time to respect and understand the logic behind the picks. It's not just a matter of liking the pick because you didn't get the guy that you want. There's also the matter of you understanding that, look, yes, we needed help on the offensive line. And if you go through and look at this draft, there was no pick that you can make that was better than what they took in the first round. If there is, you tell me who the pick is. Go Lions. Lion King. You tell me who it is. I don't see that as the case. So
I don't either.
Again, I don't know. Listen, they can have all the negative stuff that they want. I don't care about the outside noise. The Lions shouldn't care about the outside noise. They got to go in and prove.
It's just gonna make it that much sweeter when we, when we do turn it around and got a plate full of kneecaps and dubs.
Right. So they don't understand this. But let's let Carlos keep explaining his stupid. I want to give him a chance to let out his dumb.
Too much other than, stop a guy here and there, but they can't do things. And even tackles can't do things on their own. The film that you see of Penei Sewell, like knocking guys 10 yards back in college. First, that's college. Most of those guys are pumping gas probably right now that he knocked into the second row. And second of all, in the NFL, he's not going to do that. He's not going to be knocking, Daniil Hunter 10 rows back. I mean, it's a weird, it doesn't translate all the time.
Carlos, you make a really good point that he was doing that against college guys, because Devontae Adams, the pro guys that he was playing against last year it was amazing what he was doing against all those pro cornerbacks that he was destroying. So, and every other receiver in the draft. And to your point, because you were feeding us so much BS there about, the Pro Bowl offensive linemen, I had a chance to look up the Pro Bowl wide receivers too. 8 of them, you said 4, or half of the offensive tackles, right, were first round picks. Well, guess what? 2 of the 8 wide receivers were first round picks. Tyreek Hill was a 5th rounder. Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, AJ Brown, certainly not, first rounders right there.
Chris Godwin was the 3rd.
This is exactly what you're making your case against yourself. That you look at these receivers and you can find them anywhere as well. DK Metcalf round 2, Devontae Adams, some of these guys. Yes, you need playmakers in the NFL, but if there's not a playmaker that's worthy of taking or that's ranked higher than the best player on the board right there, why would you leap the best player when he can fill a need and be a long-term starter for you and have so much upside?
First of all, shout out to Dave Burkett. As much as I want to give him shit, I got to give him props. When he read that dude to 5th, you hear me? He destroyed his argument piece by piece by pointing out everything that he said and showing why it just didn't make sense. This illogical view that you just, if you take an alignment, they're not going to be good. And notice that he keeps sticking with this one particular central idea of interior. We did not need an interior lineman, people. We didn't. It just was not needed. And so you look at it and you see it right there. He's contradicting himself. And then the worst part about it, as he starts naming all these receivers and stuff that you can't find to prove him wrong, y'all got to wait till I play the response to it, because that's the part that we got to talk about, right? It just does not make sense. Lion King says, take the Bears' top 10 defense, run game, good receiver, and Mitchell Trubisky quarterback. Huh? Take the Bears' top 10 defense, run game, good receiver, and Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback.
Well, that top 10 defense is about to be split up within these next couple of years because of Khalil Mack's contract and all them draft picks that they gave up. So they're about to be rebuilding. Justin Fields is probably just going to be the first part of their rebuild. Plus, they might be firing their GM and head coach after this season. So
Benjamin Foe says y'all boys love some Sewell. Let the man play a snap first. Huh? I don't know who he's directing that to. I don't. Because the reality is we're talking about Carlos whatever his damn name is, from Detroit Free Press, who hates the idea of taking linemen in the first round because he thought we would have been better served taking people like Devontae Smith. Okay. So I'm not sure what the referral is to it. For as far as I'm concerned, Sewell can suck, and they still got to pick right. Why? Because at the very least, most people already got us listed as being the worst team going into the next year any freaking way. Right? And that's 1. 2, I think Sewell as a rookie will be better off than what Okudah was as a rookie. 3.
I'm not gonna lie, I do love Sewell, even though he ain't play snap yet. I like, his energy and all that. I love it. It fits what we're trying to do here. So I love it. I love him.
Well, see, I'm not on a love or hate, because that's not what we're talking about. This is somebody that what Benjamin is doing is he's taking a stance on something that we're not talking about. And I don't know why he's taking that stance, but we're not talking about that, oh, let him take a snap. The bottom line is this. The pick was made, right? And it was the right fucking pick. That just get out the way. There's nobody's going. It's going to be hard for you to convince me on who we supposed to took outside of Sewell. Who else? Now, if you're going to tell me it was Slater, then we can have a conversation. But if you're not, but at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. You're talking about at seventh overall. Okay. Brad Holmes said that he had calls on the phone for a possible trade, but when Sewell fell to them, he said, forget it. He putting the pick in. That tells me that he was their number one guy all along. He wasn't thinking about quarterback. He wasn't thinking about no receivers. He understood how this draft was, and he played it cool. Now, if you're telling me that, people shouldn't get excited about, Sewell or the Lions' potential of having an offensive line for the first time in shit. I don't even know how long it's been. No, could we ever say can we really say they had like a line though? Like for real, it's been so long.
Not
so
my
I'm
lifetime.
just saying. I'm just saying. Let's let Carlos, defend himself. Bears were no good, was my point. Now they have Fields. Okay. This team, the Lions were losing to Mitchell Trubisky. What's your point? And they wasn't losing to Mitchell Trubisky because Trubisky was just lighting them on fire. They were losing to Mitchell Trubisky because the defense was stumping mud holes in our offense. That's why. Because their quarterback was allowed to sit back there and chill because our defense couldn't touch theirs. Our defense wasn't even getting close to the quarterback on them. Now you go out, you add pieces that prevents their defense from getting to your quarterback. You go out and add pieces that allow for you to run the ball in different ways. You go out and add pieces that allow you to get pushed up the middle as well as on the outside. Yes, things get different. Yes, things will change. Rather than be upset and say you hate the picks, let them take some snaps, as Benjamin Foe pointed out. Let them take some snaps and then see how it all pan out. Then you come back, and if you still don't like it, then you can say, hey, I never was a fan of it. But if you telling me we should have took Justin Fields, and that's why you mad at the pick, then how did Justin Fields help us win games this year? Oh, it's not about this year? Okay, well, how does he help us win games the year after? Because I'm pretty sure that this quarterback named Goff that you don't want to like or don't want to believe in or whatever the case may be, he's going to be here 2 years. And whether you agree with him or not, we still have 4 first-round picks over the next 2 seasons. You can't find a quarterback with that? Shame on you.
Or a wide receiver, or a playmaker, or whatever else you want.
I'm just saying, shame on you.
We can even trade that draft capital for an established playmaker.
Like I said, it's one of them things that I look at, and this is why I got that blue pill up or what I want, because this is stupid. Let's keep going. Of course they're going to give me a damn ad. Of course they're going to give. Why else would they do anything besides give me an ad?
Sean Windsor. I just want to continue the Carlos question. I was thinking about you were speaking about the Super Bowl teams. You mentioned Tyreek Hill. I threw out Chris Godwin, 3rd rounder. But again, you just think about that dynamic of that field and that game. And I understand the Lions are a long way from either of those teams. Patrick Mahomes was running for his life, and Tom Brady was not. It's really, again, that's simple. And we hate simple. I know a lot of football people, you don't want to simplify it, right? It's a complex game in a lot of ways. I get it. Most of it's done. Maybe Dave does. Carlos and I don't even understand offensive line play. We're sitting there watching. We don't know what the assignment is, which way they're supposed to go, what kind of technique they're supposed to use. You're guessing, right? So the fact is, unless it's baseball, Carlos doesn't know what he's looking at anyway, and I don't either. So maybe Dave does. But I think that's part of it, Dave, is that, it's easier to see, somebody beat a defensive back one-on-one, or it's easier to see a running back make a cutback move and make somebody miss, right? So you're like, oh, wow, we want one of those. But I would argue, Carlos, the same, what Dave's saying, the same's true for running backs, probably even more so. Where are the best running backs from? So when you say playmakers, who are we really talking about? if it's not receivers or running backs? Some kind of other position we don't know about?
Yeah, I mean, quarterback was a huge, was a big position to me. Patrick Surtain was there. J.C. Horn.
Cornerback. Hardest position to transition to in the NFL outside of the quarterback. He wants a damn DB.
Hey, yo, pass that.
Bro, he has to. He has to be smoking something. He has to. This is his logic. This is what people are saying. You have a whole damn group of fan base who's irritated at the fact that the Lions did the opposite of what they want. Oh, God, my fantasy teams is broken up. It's over. I can't win if I ain't got nobody on fantasy on the Lions to pick. What the hell is wrong with us? Every year, I hear complaining and bitching and moaning about we can't run the ball. We have no pass protection. We're not getting to the quarterback. Lions say, yeah, we see those same problems and go out and fix it, and we bitching because we didn't get a quarterback. Like Jared Goff ain't did nothing. All I've been hearing for years is how Matthew Stafford's win-loss record is this, and his win-loss record is that. And he in 12 years, it's been enough time. 12 years, he ain't won the Super Bowl. 12 years, he ain't did this. 12 years, he ain't did that.
12 years a slave to the Lions.
And all I'm hearing this entire time on top of all that, JGB, all I'm hearing is how people are afraid of the goddamn Bears now. You wasn't afraid of them when they were busting our ass with Mitchell Trubisky? You wasn't afraid of the Panthers when they was busting our ass last season? When the Texans, who had a worse record than us, bust our ass on Thanksgiving? You wasn't afraid of none of those teams. But the Bears go out and get a guy that you like, and now we're afraid of him. Why? Because he the savior? Huh. We're just gonna ignore Ohio State history. He's gonna be the one to break the mold to disrupt the Ohio State history. That's gonna be him. With a head coach and a general manager on the hot seat, he's the answer. Where's all that Tua talk at? You remember that talk, JGB? Remember that?
Of course I do.
Where's all that goddamn Tua talk? Now all them same people who were talking about Tua acting like they were talking about Justin Herbert the entire time. Miss me with the bullshit. Hindsight is 20/20 for not just you, but it is for me too.
Yep.
What are you afraid about now? I don't understand this logic of thinking. If you want to hear that whole entire interview, go to the free pre on YouTube and watch the whole interview. Very good debate, about 34 minutes long. I don't even care to play another minute of the stupidity of it because it's just that dumb.
Yeah, I'm not even going to check that out.
It's just so dumb. It's so bland.
He almost sound like that one dude that you was playing on the other night. That was crashing the line for pick as well.
It's just he is like most fans don't understand the sport, but he's paid to write about it. You would think that the first criteria is, do you actually know fucking football? They just went with, can you write? I can give that same pen and typewriter to my 5-year-old and get a better article. It's not hard. Lion King say, if we had Brady, we won't win this year.
Duh.
Okay, so if that's the case, then you're basically proving my point that if we wouldn't have won with Brady, we damn sure wasn't winning with Justin Fields. This the thing I don't think people follow in terms of logic. If we can't win with Brady, why in the hell are we winning with Justin Fields? This team will win more games than most people think this season. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, actually, we might. I don't know. Like I'm always optimistic because I'm a Lions fan, but this year does feel kind of different. I'm not gonna say we're gonna win a lot of games. I'm not gonna say we're gonna win a lot of games. I just feel like we just gonna play. Like feel like Dan Campbell really gonna have these dudes playing.
Bro, let me tell you something. I'll never forget this. If you go through the history, it's not just on the good side, it's on the evil side. The person that people like can get everyone in the world to do something that they never thought. Elon Musk simply bought Dogecoin. And everybody else went and bought Dogecoin. Warren Buffett buys a stock, everybody else buys a stock. Jay-Z tells you to go out and invest in stocks, and people go out and invest in stocks. Beyonce tell you put a ring on it. You got every woman in the world talking to their boyfriends. If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. My point I'm trying to make to you is this. When people like you, they tend to do what you ask them without question. And now you have a head coach who people actually like. You have a coaching staff that people actually like. You think they're going to have a hard time getting them to play well?
Especially if you know that the people asking you to do something would do it themselves.
Lion King says, you guys telling me where we going with this team. I love the Lions, okay? I'll tell you where we're going with this team. The Lions were on track to getting it right. If you just look at it, and one of the things that you're going to see if you go and listen to the rest of that debate where they talk about coaches, is Carlos again being wrong and saying that the Lions, every time they go from one coach, they switch to the total opposite. That's not true. Jim Schwartz was the players' coach and got people to play for him. They went to Jim Caldwell right after Jim Schwartz, and it worked. Even Rob Marinelli was supposed to be more of a players' coach, and he bringing some toughness and some authoritativeness to it, but it was a players' coach. And so they went player coach with Rob Marinelli. He didn't work out. They went player coach with Jim Schwartz. It didn't work out. They went player coach with Jim Caldwell. It did work out, and they still fired him. And then we went to Matt Patricia. And somebody in the Lions brass noticed the trend of where we were at our best was when we had a players coach. So they went back to another players coach. And what I'm trying to point out to you is in terms of where this team is heading, is we're heading towards a team that not only that people going to want to play for, but a team that is going to no longer be in the basement because you won't be able to do the same old. When I watch videos of Devontae Adams talk about he never understood why the Detroit Lions defense never switched up their play calls or signals, my mind is blown. Every time I watch an example of anybody doing a breakdown of something, the Detroit Lions is in the highlight. And so I'm telling you, we're a team that's now heading towards an identity, a team that's built through the trenches, a team that's going to be able to run the ball and play more balanced offense, a team whose defense is going to be able to create some real pressure because we haven't had that in a while. A team that's not going to play man coverage every freaking down or rush two defenders on the last damn play with a mobile quarterback. The team you're going to see going forward is a team that is being built the right way, slow and easy. You know why people always talk about homemade cakes tasting better than instant cake? Because instant cake is set up in such a way that there's no love into it. There's no thought process into it. You add freaking water and bake. But when you got to sit there and you got to put the right amount of sugar, the right amount of flour, the right amount of milks and eggs, yeah, that shit tastes a whole lot better. There's a reason why when you buy frozen foods, you wonder why it don't taste like what you used to. There's no thought process put into it. So where's this team heading? It's heading from what you thought you knew. Same old Lions. Nah, not no more. Front office different. Ownership is different. Leadership is different. Coaching staff is different. Where's this team headed to, you ask? It just is what it is. But what you can bet your money on is this. The direction in which they're heading is the absolute direction that we should be heading because we've already done the quarterback in the first round. You take, maybe I'm wrong, was Justin Fields a Heisman winner? JGB, was he a Heisman winner? You know of that?
I don't think so.
I don't think he was neither. I don't think he's a Heisman winner. We drafted a Heisman winner, Andre Ware. It did not work. Half of y'all hate Stafford. Took him in the first. It did not work. You still want another quarterback. You wonder why all these quarterbacks are failing? Because they can't freaking stand up in the pocket. If they was mobile, we wouldn't have to worry about it being a good protection. Go talk to Lamar Jackson. Go talk to Russell Wilson. They leave good, clean pockets all the time. That's why they get sacked. Holding on to the ball because they believe they can outrun the defense. This is why they're getting suffering. If he was mobile, it wouldn't be a problem. Talk to Patrick Mahomes. Talk to Colin Kaepernick. You know how slow the defense was on the Ravens when they played them in the Super Bowl? It's just snuffed out Polo Colin.
Times are changing too. Defenses are changing just like offenses.
Just saying. It's what we doing. And the reason I got that blue pill up there that showed that I want a quarterback is because I'm sick and tired of seeing these messages. Stop DMing me this bullshit. I'm not going to agree with you. Half the time y'all send me these DMs and y'all have no logic or any thought behind why y'all sending me this bullshit. Stop sending it to me. If you're not prepared to explain to me why this makes sense, don't send it to me. Because I'm sick
I don't care
of it.
if we have any big names on our squad, just like the 04 Pistons. Who gave a damn about our squad? We came out there and was doing what? Punching people in their mouth, fell down, got up, took a kneecap, and took the championship, right?
Facts.
They embodied that 04, like the Pistons team back then is kind of reminding me of what they're building right now in the Lions and the Pistons right now.
And you know what else is special about that team? And it is so funny you brought them up because you just brought up another good point that I never even thought about. You remember when the Pistons got Ben Wallace and everybody went, of all the centers you're gonna get Ben Wallace?
Yep.
And what happened? He became a fan favorite. You had people who had people of all different cultures with an afro. All different cultures now with an afro. Right? I had people telling me shit like this. This picture is stupid. And I told them that they right. I told them that, you know what, you're right. It was stupid to have this up here because we don't have Joe Burrow. But we do have a Jared Goff. And now we have a Sewell. And now we have a Taylor Decker and a Jonah Jackson. And I hate to say this, but we got to keep it 100, people. As much as we hate Bob Quinn, he got some shit right. We could not have had 3 of those key pieces on the team without him. He's made some moves that made sense for this team. The biggest mistake he ever made was that damn head coach hire. But he set a standard that I still think needs to be talked about. 9-7 is not good enough. He started the process for building the offensive line to get us in a direction to do just that. But when you have anybody, and I do mean this openly, anybody, you got anybody blocking, i.e. only 3 pieces, and the right side suck because most pressure comes from the outside and ain't coming up the middle, and this is your quarterback on his back, and now y'all gonna say he trash because you can take Goff out and put Stafford. Take Stafford out, put Charlie Batch. Take Charlie Batch out, put Dante Culpepper. Take Culpepper out, put Jeff Garcia. Take Jeff Garcia out and put John Kidner. Whoever you put at the quarterback position where anybody got them blocking, throwing to Calvin Johnson, throwing to Herman Moore. Whoever you want to put here, the ball's going to come up short every single time. You need protection to throw it to anybody.
Look at most of the throws Stafford was throwing to Megatron. He was running away from pressure, just throwing it up.
Right. And we got fans who don't, because we didn't get the people they wanted. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. We get it right.
This whole new regime is just like a wait and see approach with all Lions fans. You know, you got half of them believing, half of them still like, oh, we're still gonna be trash, and it's just like, man, I don't know. Why can't we just wait and see? before judging. You know, everybody thinks we're gonna be trash. Just wait and see.
They don't want to do that. That's too logic. You know, you see the comment on the screen. Stool is trash. Take the best player available. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's trouble.
Who's the best player available? Look at this offensive line now, people. Dacker, Jackson, Ragnar, Big V, Sewell. Look at your mid-range receivers. You now get to throw the ball short to TJ, Quintez Cephas, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got Tyrell Williams and Brashard Perriman to be your deep threats. You got Swift, Williams, and Kerryon at your running back position. They may carry a fourth. What are y'all mad about? What are y'all mad about? Your defense is already getting improved just from the standpoint that the damn D line will actually be able to get home. Is Michael Brockers an upgrade over Danny Shelton? Most fans would say yes. Most fans would say yes.
I like Danny Shelton.
I like the Danny Shelton too, but most fans would say yes. Right? It's a Mill, McNeil, or Levi. Are they going to be better than what we got out of Deshaun Hand? Keep in mind, Deshaun Hand ass didn't play.
Well, it depends. Deshaun Hand had a good rookie season.
Yep, and since that one, he ain't played. 13 games, bro.
Man.
13. I'm just asking the question. The defense was the worst part of our team. The worst part. And you look at the draft, past the first round, 2 D tackles, a cornerback / safety, and a linebacker. 6 total picks. Or was it 7? One of the things, but 7 total picks, and 4 or 5 of them were on the defense. What are you mad about? Defense sucked anyway. Right. What are you mad about?
I think people just forget that we have so many picks coming in these next couple drafts. You know, you can only do so much in one draft.
I'm telling y'all right now, if you send this trash to me in my DM, I'm gonna send you a flame. And it's not because what you said was fire, because I'm burning that bullshit up. I'm not with it. Okay? Come in here with some logic or don't have a conversation with me. I'm about logic football thinkers. Don't come telling me what you would do on your fantasy team. Don't come telling me what you did on Madden. Don't come telling me what you did on the draft simulator on Pro Football Focus. Because right now, for a bag of potato chips, you can have the entire freaking Pro Bowl team with that simulator. Don't understand this.
And do you got like I said before, one question you got to ask yourself is, do you believe the scouting talents of Ray Agnew, John Dorsey, and Brad Holmes? That's all you have to ask yourself. If you do, then just let the rest play out.
Listen, I just don't think people understand, bro. Everybody's so quick to jump the gun, ready to write off a quarterback who ain't took a snap from us. Oh, because he's garbage. You know what this remind me of, and I hate to say this. You remember how a lot of the Miami Dolphins fans was talking about how trash Tannehill was?
Yep.
Like they were just saying how garbage he is. And he goes over to Tennessee, gets a run game and a defense, and is asked to manage the game. A coach that believes in him. And what do you know? Resurgent. Just funny how this works. John Bradshaw says people didn't like Swift. Look at them now. That's another good point. They couldn't stand Swift. Just funny how this works. With the offensive line, we should have a top 12 rushing game, which we have not had in any of the 12 years Stafford was here. Goff should have time to throw. Isn't Goff like 17-1 when his team rushes for 150? I don't got to tell people. You talk to them. You speaking these facts, they going to tell you it's fake. That's what haters do. Haters tell you it's fake. They can't explain it, so it's got to be fake. Right? It's a magic trick. It didn't happen. Luke, would you play with that offensive line? Yes. I would play with the offensive line we got now. Yes, I would feel real good about it. Especially if I'm a running back. We're going to actually be able to run right this time. Most of our rushes came to the left. I made a video on that already. Remember that video I showed JGB when I was like, look how many runs that we made to the left versus the right.
Pathetic. That was pathetic. And then they wonder why we drafted a highly touted tackle, right?
I'm just telling you, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Like how we get to this point.
See where this team is going, man. I'm just excited.
Dude. Like look, see, look, I say Tannehill, look, Benjamin Foe. Tannehill is garbage, though. Okay. I can't make this stuff up. We can get off the field on third downs and can't stop passes in the middle because there's no pass rush. They saw the same thing, bro. They saw the same thing. They literally said the only logical way you can understand why taking 2 D tackles mattered, especially the D tackles that they took, because both those D tackles can play inside and out. But the only thing that made sense to them is when they looked at the tape, they said all the problems for them started up front, that there was no pressure. And if you go back and you look at it, tell me what game did the defensive line get pressure on? I'll wait. Anybody in the chat who thinks that Chris Watts is wrong or that I'm crazy or that JGB don't know what the hell he talking about, he's a fanboy, right? This is the shit y'all say. Tell me the game where the defensive line was creating pressure. I'll wait.
Even preseason.
Include preseason in there too. Maybe it increased y'all chances of finding somebody. AW says Swift isn't great. 500 yards is pretty weak. 500 yards would be pretty weak if he was used to be the starter the entire time. He wasn't, and that's the problem. By the time they realized what they had, it took for a Hall of Fame running back, Adrian Peterson, to go about time. I kept asking him, when were you going to feature this guy? When your Hall of Fame running back that you pick up, Adrian Peterson, is telling the coaching staff, hey, I need to be a compliment to him, and you doing the opposite, 500 seems pretty fucking great to me. Sorry for the language. Just saying. Let me see. What else am I missing? Make sure I ain't missing nothing. Let me see. Swing passes to the running back on the outside wall. Stuff that we couldn't do. I'm just saying. Like, I wish I could make this stuff up.
Luke, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
What do you want to see Dan Campbell do during games?
In-game adjustments. Understanding the flow of the game and in-game adjustments. Like, for example, if it's 3rd and 1, right? Let's say it's 3rd and 1. You are up 1 possession, and it's 3rd and 1. I really don't want you to necessarily always just go, it's 3rd and 1, we're going to run the ball up the gut. No, sometimes you got to look at the situation. How close are we to getting in the end zone? Right? If we real far away from the end zone and you want to run it up the gut or run it outside, cool. But if we across that 50, I want to see more aggression. Because the points on the board is what's going to shut everything down. I want to see if you come out, you have a slow first half, that you made adjustments to the second half, or maybe you having a shitty 3rd quarter. By 4th quarter, you adjusted and made some changes. I got to see that. That's what the coach's job is. That's the first thing. The second thing I want to see is, are you putting in our best players? Not people that you knew when you was playing for the Saints. Because if he would have came in here and named Josh Hill the starting tight end over TJ Hockenson, right there, he already would have had a bad start for me. You got to be able to think. So,
do you want to see him like be cool, calm, and collective, or you want to see him like fired up? Because I remember one time you said you don't really like to see coaches too animated.
I don't, because at the end of the day, it don't. Like I said, if you're doing it and there's no results behind it, who the fuck cares? Half the time they hooping and hobbling and hoopling about stuff is because they're stressed out about their job status. You don't see Mike Tomlin on the sideline as he's winning and losing games, losing his stuff. No, you just don't see it. He's a little bit. He's in the mood and he's in the moment at what's going on. If you look at most of the coaches who are doing stuff, you don't even see Bill Belichick get heated until somebody makes a grave mistake on the field. And then it's like, what the hell were you doing? But half those other guys who do all that hollering and hoopling and all that bull, man, that just don't do nothing. It's just for show. And you're doing it because you're hoping that your team sees it and go, he's fighting for us. But I don't give a shit. Who cares? The teams who are winning ain't doing it. They're not. If you go and look at Bruce Arians, he cusses out the referees all the time, peacefully. I don't know how he does this. This is impressive to me. But there's a lot of Mike where he's like, that's bullshit, James. Just bull. He doesn't care. He's not over there throwing the clipboards and flipping cheers and acting a fool. I don't need to see that. I don't care about that. What I care about is, are you able to adjust? Are you able to make some things happen in game time situations? Are you understanding where you are? There's going to be some games where we're going to be up 14 points, and the head coach needs to understand that we need to keep our foot on the gas. Because I can tell you right now, the previous regimes didn't do that. They got up 14 points and played prevent defense and soft defense and other BS that wasn't working. They didn't run the ball no more. It was terrible. So if he going over there and he cussing out everybody, you better be doing that because we winning. But the last guy to do that, all that hoopla and ha and all that, was Jim Harbaugh, and it didn't amount to nothing. The year they went to the Super Bowl, he wasn't doing that. But then the year after they didn't go back to the Super Bowl, all of a sudden he wants to hoopla and ha and jump up and down. He do the same thing over there in Michigan. Nobody pays attention to him because you're probably losing anyway. So yes, now you're throwing a tantrum. So yeah, I don't care about all that demeanor stuff on the sideline. I care about coaching decisions. That's what I care about. Show me where you're coaching the game. Show me where you're making the right decisions, calling the right plays, understanding the game situation. I love some of the things that happened last year with our opening drives where you come out with a flea flicker to open the game up. Do stuff like that. That's cool. But if you're going to tell me that all he's going to be good for is hollering on the sideline, well, while you hollering, your ass could have been over there telling somebody what they messed up on. I don't need you to be hollering. I need you to be over there correcting what went wrong. So that's how I look at it. This is your opportunity for y'all to ask any questions you want with me and JGB. Like I said, things that we talked about already. We talked about the Lions draft. We talked about Josh Hill retiring. We talked about the new hiring of Darren Fells. We talked about, the idea that the Lions are going to regret picks. Don't know how we're going to do that. I don't know how that works. Guy Coffee and Football says, what up, Luke? What up, though?
That's a good name.
I know, right? Tim Hutchinson says, so we running the 3-4. I think you're going to see us running a mixture of a lot of stuff. 3-4, 4-3, but I think our base defense is going to be a 4-3. I just get a feeling that that's what we're going to be. We also talked about the Detroit Free Press YouTube video where they had a debate between Sean Windsor, Carlos Moraz, whatever his damn name is, and Dave Burkett. William Smith, congratulations for us drafting a couple of backups and some special team players on a one-win team. Yes, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for finally acknowledging some football increments in this. Because at the bottom line is this. If this team is a one-win team, and I'm leaving this on the screen because this is a timestamp, so please don't change your name and damn sure don't change your picture. Keep that same energy when they win 2 games because that debunks your whole view right there. I want you to understand something, okay? You could be upset and view this any way you want to. If you believe that they got a bunch of backups because we know Sewell is starting. Amar Ra is going to start. Y'all think he's not? You're fooling yourself. He's going to start, okay? Derek Burns is going to start. He's going to get in there and play and get some starts. Those D tackles, one of those D tackles are starting. Why? because they're not going to leave John Pennicini out there on passing downs. They're just not. On guaranteed rundowns, John Pennicini is your anchor. But if you think this team's only going to win one game any damn way, what are you upset about?
Go bet on it.
I'm just saying, like, if you think they're only going to win one game, why are you mad about who they drafted? They only winning one game. You can't get upset when somebody meets your expectations. That's like getting mad that your kids brought home A's. Oh, you're gonna just be an outstanding fucking student, huh? Okay, huh? Like, you just can't. If you think they're gonna be a one-win team, or you came here to try to troll, or whatever your case was that you wanted to do, you just don't realize you got the right one. Because I'll take what you say and use it against you. And I'm telling you, if you already believe that this is a one-win team, what are you mad about for real?
Following a one-win team?
I don't understand. What are you mad about? Don't matter who they drafted, they're one win, right? Because if we take Devontae Smith, what, they 2 wins now? 3 wins? You know what I always love about the fan base when it comes to football fans? How they fall in love with things that they don't understand, right? Like, think about it, right? Think about it. You have all these people, right? All of these people. And this is why I got to make stuff like this. You got all these damn people who literally, for whatever reason, can't just think and understand that having a receiver with a quarterback that can't give him the ball don't matter. Not one person could come on this video and tell me who was the Lions going to take that was going to be on the level of a Calvin Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones. Who? Not one.
Kyle Pitts, maybe.
Well, he was off the board by the time we picked, so we can't talk about him.
Saying. That's what I'm saying.
So, you know, who are we taking? And what they don't understand is this. We had a Calvin Johnson, a Hall of Fame receiver. Go and look at Calvin Johnson's numbers before he got a Matthew Stafford. Then let's talk about it. You got to have somebody to throw the ball to you as a receiver. The quarterback has to have protection, a run game, tight ends, receivers to do his job. Look at those positions who are independent on their own. Offensive linemen are independent on their own. They got a singular job, block. Defensive linemen, independent of their own. Those should be the highest paid players, not these people who depend upon other people. There's some quarterbacks out here who high paid and their receivers do all the work. Makes no sense.
I don't know.
Makes no sense.
I just don't understand why people are upset about us, like, finally completing one position group, you know? Like, if everybody thinks we're rebuilding, like they say, then why not finish a group off? You know, we have most of the O-line, then why not finish and build from there?
Because it don't go with their narrative for fantasy football. That's why. I mean, think about it. If I don't have anything else to complain about to make me look like I'm a smart guy and I know I really know football, why else would I do something? Again, this is y'all time for questions. I'm sorry, people, but we got to address some of the things that people say. As my man, first black man on the net said, he not upset, Luke. He's just the same old Lions fan. That's what it is. Yep. That's exactly what it is. The same old Lions fan. No matter what you do, you upset. You upset. Even when your team win, you mad. Oh my God, they're winning games. We should be tanking in the NFL. It works. I promise you, it works. You ain't got to tell me. Right. I'm just telling you. You ain't got to tell me. Anybody, if you see it up there, it's a blue pill for a reason. If you wanted a quarterback, if you wanted a wide receiver, you wanted a linebacker or a corner at 7th, you a blue pill thinker. You are sucked up in the system. You don't have a brain to think. You're not even woke. You've been dreaming for too damn long. You got to be a blue pill thinker. You got to. Those people who are awake and understand what's going on, they're not upset. But all the people who are frustrated with the fact you're a blue pill person. Makes no sense to me. One Pride 40 says, hey, buddy, answer my question. What makes Sewell trash? He don't know the answer to that. Chances is he probably came over from my man's video where I was talking shit to somebody he liked. You know, you remember the video where the guy talking about Sewell sucks and the Lions suck for drafting him, and I basically read his ass to filth because he didn't know what the hell he was talking about, didn't know football. So he probably came from over there because I asked that dude to tell me what games he watched, and he couldn't tell me. So he probably came from over there to defend him. It might even be his burner account. Either way it goes, makes me no difference. We talk football over here. Not fantasy, not movies, real football over here. The field generals over here are field generals because they know what the hell going on the field. That's what we do over here. That's what we do over here. We don't do nothing but talk football over here. If you came over here looking for anything else, a clown show, the circus, I'm the wrong channel. I'm the wrong channel. Here's a question from somebody who got some sense. Jimmy Stoneful. He says, Luke, you think the Lions wins more than 5 games this season? Yes, I do. He says, I'm only asking, I might put money on it. Think about this. Vegas ain't stupid. Vegas is not in the business for losing money. The fact that they got the over and under at 5 is because they know that most fans are going to back the under. Why? Because most media has the Lions as the worst team in there. The last time that happened, the Lions went to the playoffs that year, if I'm not mistaken. They had us rated as the worst team going into that season, and we went to the playoffs. So if I was you, I would bet the over. What you think, JGB?
I would bet the over. I don't really like predicting how many games we're going to win just because, like I said, I'm an optimistic Lions fan, and I hate when we lose. So, but I do think we'll win more than 5 games, especially in the 17-game season. You know, we won 5 games how many times the last 2 years?
I can literally tell you, I can name the opponents I believe that we will beat. Because I think that certain opponents we're going to play early, and then in certain opponents we're going to play late. But I know for a fact that we're going to win more than 5 games. You know,
we at least split the division and win 2 outside games. That's 5.
You know,
we could easily do that.
Like just 100%. Let me see. Cincinnati still mad they didn't draft Sewell over Chase. We're gonna get a chance to see how this thing works for Cincinnati, going with the receiver over the blocker. 100%. We're gonna see how that works. We have 2 years to draft a new shiny toy, build the trenches now. 4 first-round picks over the next 2 seasons. Any other questions? Let me see.
Lion King says, here's my take. We ain't winning no matter who we pick, so why not take Fields? The Bears snaked up to take him. Why? Because they're desperate.
Right. They hope they finna get. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Yep. Yeah, Bears are trying to do whatever they can to make up for Trubisky. That's why they took Fields. Their front office been getting killed the whole offseason.
Hello? All right. I'm back, people. All right. Had to make sure I get things together. All right. So now, here's a question from Spencer Waddle. He says, I love the draft, but with the Lions going 3-4 per Dan Campbell. Okay, so I'm glad he gave us an idea. I didn't hear that yet. Why draft McNeil in the 3rd after getting Levy and you got Brockers? Well, I'll show you why. I like this question because it makes sense. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to show you why. First thing you got to look at is this, okay? The first thing you got to look at is this. Look at the Lions roster, all right? And so as we go through the Lions roster, you got to ask yourself, can you trust Hand to play this season? A full 17 games. Can you trust him to do that? Anybody in their right mind would say no. So he's out of here. Nick Williams took a pay cut to stay on the team just to have a shot. You think he going to survive the cuts? He probably won't. So now you got Michael Brockers. That's one. You know John Pennicini ain't going nowhere. That's two. McNeil is three. Levy is four. We got Nick Williams and Deshaun Hand getting the hell on. How you feel about Jason Cornell? Because you know he's played. Oh, wait, he hasn't because he's been hurt too? Again, yep. He just hasn't been healthy. He just hasn't. Now you look at John Atkins.
It's just been a lot of uncertainty with the inside, so why not invest in it?
And so when you look at that, and if they do go to a 3-4, this big mother, I'm telling you, this as a nose tackle can move. And you get the versatility of putting him at DN. You get the versatility of moving him at the 3 tech. You get the versatility of moving Levi around. But you get those opportunities presented to you to play around with it. So when you got all these other guys who's going to be getting up out of here, they're not going to carry more than 5 defensive linemen at best. 5.
Luke.
Yes.
You remember the old McDonald's commercials with the Hamburglar and Grimace?
Yeah.
When that's who McNeil reminds me of, is Grimace running with the hamburgers all fast and stuff.
Yeah.
That dude's big. He can move, boy.
He moves. He has athletic ability. And the truth is this. They basically said that they don't trust the Lions' depth. They don't trust Deshaun Hand. They don't trust Nick Williams. They don't trust John Atkins. They don't trust Kevin Strong. They don't trust Jason Cornell. They don't trust these people. And so when you have those two people, the first thing they say to themselves is, here's what I know. We got no pressure up the middle. And only pressure we got from the outside came from who? Romeo. So they adjusted to that. I had these guys on my roster last year, and the year before, we didn't get no push up the middle. They looked at all 3 years of Matt Patricia with this roster to make their decisions on who's staying and who's going. And when you go through all 3 years, yes, there's some problems here. There's some things that should have happened that did not happen. And so, therefore, that's why they went to D tackles. I thought it was crazy at the time initially because I'm like, I don't think we need to draft a D tackle. But the fact that they got a new medical doctor and all this other stuff, medicals could have came back that these are serious injuries and other stuff. Just after 3 years of looking at this team, we ain't got no push that we should have been having on the D line, and we ain't been having the protection. So it makes sense to me. But I think that's why you see the 2 D tackles come off the board. Great question from my man Jimbo G. How's the family doing? They doing good, man. They doing really good. Constantly just trying to live, we have, got a few more things happening in the family right now, but we holding strong. We holding strong. Let me see. Any other questions? Let me make sure I don't miss nothing now. JGB, if you see a question in the chat, man, let me know. Let me see. Title of this video needs to be changed to Kool-Aid Hour. Next, you be saying Barnes is going to be a Hall of Fame. Oh, okay. Well, go start you a YouTube. We'll go start you a YouTube channel and title your videos whatever you want. And I wish you nothing but success and may your YouTube channel prosper.
Or he could just hit you up in the Discord or Twitter. You can get him on the show. Yeah. He can talk to you about why he thinks the Lions are trash.
That'll never happen. He'll never do that. He will never hit me up on Discord, Twitter, or Instagram to come on the show to tell me why it is. Because the truth is, if he really looked at that picture that I had on there, let me show you how you know he's stupid, right? I'm gonna show you how you know he's stupid. And I don't usually call people stupid because that's rude, but I have to show you that he's stupid. Notice what this thing says. Title of this needs to be changed. What does the title of this video say, people? Y'all go and read it. Y'all go and read it. What the title say? I'll give y'all a minute. Just got to show y'all why people stupid. They love to come on here and talk, but don't realize that I'm going to be smarter than you because I pay attention and you didn't. Because the title has been the same on every video. Live Detroit Lions talk. live Detroit Lions talk. You saw the picture with the blue pill and ignored the blue pill. See, that's what happened. You should have focused on the visuals. It was right there in your face the whole time. If it was a snake, it bit your ass 14 times. You just missed it. So the snake was right there in your face and it bit you. There's a blue pill and it says, I want these things, because there's a view that these blue pill fans want those things, and it's stupid. So next time, how about you actually try reading instead of looking at a picture? And if you enjoy pictures so much, get a Dr. Seuss book. It's going to work out better for you. I promise you.
All links are in the description.
100%. I believe many people are discounting how much of an effect a change in morale is going to have. I don't care how much money you make. If you work for some a-hole, you won't perform well. Facts. If I like you, I will run through a brick wall. There have been serial killers who never killed a person a day in their life, but they managed to talk other people into doing it. Cult leaders and everything. This is just history. I'm serious. Kanye West got people walking around here dressing like they are freaking poor. Because it's Kanye West. So I'm just saying, how good you think Amon-Ra would be this year one? I'm thinking 800 yards and maybe 5 or 6 touchdowns. Then you thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Because I think he's going to get open. I think as a slot receiver, he's going to ball out for us and he's going to get open. Because think about it, most teams' slot cornerback is not good enough to keep up with those guys. And if you go back to the history, going back to the greatest show on turf, one of the reasons Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt got off is because Oz Hakeem in the slot destroyed everybody else.
So then where do you think Cephas is going to play?
In the slot. They're gonna run a lot of 3- and 4-man receiver sets. And sometimes what you're going to see is you're going to see some sets where you may have you have Ahmad out at the 2, Cephas in the slot with TJ, and whoever the fastest between Tyrod or Brashard Perriman at the 1. Why? Because what that does is it creates levels. So yeah, I see a lot of things coming, but I think Ahmad is going to beat out Quintez Cephas for that final slots position.
But they're still in the building. What up?
What's going on, Cam? What's going on? Oh, I know he trolling, but since he trolling, I can troll him back. That's why I told him to go create his own channel, and I wish him nothing but the best. And that part wasn't a joke. That was 100% serious. I was like, hey, you want to go and be the opposite and do stuff? Go ahead, just as long as you can back it up with something. So shout out to my man Cam. My man Major Money says Detroit versus everybody, 100%. Charles P said he too dumb to troll. He the type to say some dumb stuff. Then when everybody makes fun of him, he tries to say he was just trolling. He told me I need to change the title. A title that literally says Live Detroit Lions Talk. But okay. To Kool-Aid Hour. Who do you think we were going to be talking about? Just say, how many sacks we getting this year? Are you mean as a team or as you mean individually? As a team, it's hard for me to say because I want to wait to see how they utilize the weapons that we have. So it's hard for me to say. What do you think, JGB?
I don't know, man. I gotta see where we putting guys at first.
One Pride 40 says, Luke, I think Amon-Ra is Cephas' replacement. Again, I think Cephas is going to get in and play, but I just think Amon-Ra is going to perform in such a way that they're going to use him. It just is what it is. Smitty, you ain't got to tell me. I know he can't back it up.
Charles P talking about the undrafted. What you think about?
So let's look at that. Let's look at the undrafted.
Because I do like Say Surratt. I do like him. Checked him out.
Now I'll show you everybody I watched. I watched Jonathan Adams. I know he had an injury. But I saw some catches that I was like, ooh. I like people who go and snatch the ball out the air, and he does that. So I watched him. I think he has a chance to make the team, to be honest with you. I have not watched any D'Angelo Amos safety from Virginia tape at all, so I cannot tell you a damn thing about him. I plan on doing it when I'm done doing the show here. I will then go and watch tape on him. I have not watched any of Tavante Beckett's linebacker out of Marshall's tape. He's the next person I got to watch. But if you look right here, it said Beckett had a rocky start to the beginning of his college career. After his freshman season, he was dismissed from Virginia Tech, where he was charged with conspiracy to sell and possession of marijuana. But those charges were later dropped. They dropped while we're talking about it. I hate when people do stuff like this. I hate this. If it's dropped, then it's a non-fucking issue. Why are we talking about this? Right. But I'm gonna go and watch the film on him. The only reason I know who this Rakeem Boyd is because of Last Chance U. I'm gonna be honest. Once he left there, I didn't follow anything else. So I'm gonna go back and rewatch his film on him. I actually did watch film on him. I think he don't make the team at all. I think he's brought in to pretty much get a tryout. Jack Hausman. He seems slow. And it just, God, like the two things that I always look for in a good tight end is your blocking, which I seen him do some good blocks. But when are you a route runner, a person who can find space in the defense? It looks like the defense finds him, and that is an issue for me. So I don't think he makes the team. I think he's here for a tryout. Drake Jackson, I watched film on him. I forgot who sent me this name in Discord. I want to give him a shout out, but I can't remember who the hell sent it to me. I ended up watching film on him. Again, another guy I think makes practice squad. I've seen some film where it looked like he blew some stuff up, but then I've seen some film where I'm like, you let a linebacker walk you like a dog to the quarterback. It's a linebacker. I'm not with that. As a center, I'm not with that. Jerry Jacobs, have not watched any film on him. Sorry. Tommy Creamer, guard out of Notre Dame. The only reason I know who this is because there was another player at Notre Dame who I was watching film on, Mr. Lim Eichenberg. I think he has a chance of making the team, but my spirit tells me he's going to be a practice squad guy. And so at that point, I'm just going to go with my spirit and say he's a practice squad guy. Things that I liked about him, yes, he was better served in run blocking at times than he was in pass blocking. But in the pass blocking, I love how he had the wherewithal to whoever is nearest to him to take their head off to get back into his assignment. So if you are playing center or tackle and he's the guard there and you working with somebody and they get into that linear wall where he can touch you, he's going to try to take their head off and go back to his assignment. So I appreciate that about him, but I think he ends up being a practice squad guy. This was the guy I watched at receiver, but I thought that was a rock. I don't know. I really, it's hard because it's like I don't believe in Ian Book. And so most of what I saw from him, I'm not sure if this was just him or Ian Book. Like, I feel like there were times where he dropped some passes, but I'm like, yeah, was it kind of a tough pass? Yes. But again, I think he's a practice squad guy. JGB, feel free to jump in on any. Again, that's another thing. The injuries. I didn't know nothing about the injury list until I read this. And I was like, oh, well, that explains it. But when I watched the film, there were some passes where I was like, he should have caught that. Or it was like this one. I wish I can show it without getting in trouble. It was this one game they had against Michigan. I'm pretty sure he ran the wrong route. I'm 100% sure he ran the fucking wrong route. It's no way that when you look at where everybody else went, why was he the only one told to go here? It just seems like he ran the wrong route. Like, even the defense didn't even respond to it. So, I don't practice squad guy for me. I did watch film on this dude. I walked out with a okay. I think the only way he gonna make the team if he goes on the special teams and knock somebody out, and I don't see that happening. I think he gets cut. AJ Parker, cornerback out of Kansas State. I've watched one game of him, and in that one game, it was beautiful. He was bullying people at the line of scrimmage. He was 100% fighting for the ball when the ball was in the air. Those 50-50 balls, he wanted every part of it. I like what I saw out of him. I'm being honest. I like what I saw out of him. If there was any knock I had on him, is the boy tackles like he allergic to grass or something. I've never seen anything like it. There was a few plays where he had a nice, decent, hard hit, but for the most part, I freaking just thought the cornerbacks play was great, but that tackling thing is another problem for me. And then another issue I saw was
if he can't tackle, he won't make the team then. And
that's a problem. It is. The tackling for me was a huge problem. It was weird. It was weird.
That's what I like about that cornerback we drafted.
Well, again,
how good he tackles.
Right here, as it says, he managed to make plays on the ball, defended 24 passes along with 6 interceptions in his career. He can read the offense and get the pass lanes and off coverage with strong instincts. With his size, though, he sometimes has issues getting through blocks. I think most cornerbacks do, so I ain't killing too much on that. To make plays on the ball carrier, which tends to be his downfall. The Lions starting nickel corner is Corn Elder, and if Parker can overcome his shortfall, he could find a way on this depth chart. Again, I loved everything in that one game. I got 2 more games I'm going to look at with Dog and see if I'm seeing a lot of the same thing I saw from the one game, because I picked these games by random. And I'm just telling you, the cornerback skills are there. It's the other stuff, the tackling, the getting off the blocks. That stuff is just suspect. Let's see.
Kind of reminds me of Slay.
Interesting. I never even thought about that comparison, to be honest with you. That's a good point. Sage Surratt. Wide receiver from Wake Forest.
That's the dude that I watched.
So I'm only about halfway in through one of the games that I'm watching with him. His quarterback didn't help him at all. I know a lot of y'all was hyped up on Jamie Newman. I started there and worked my way around. I know y'all was hyped up on Jamie Newman, but he wasn't the answer. He wasn't it. And it made it hard for me to kind of gauge what he was doing. The one thing I noticed with him was this part right here where it says abuse defenders for contested catches. He had that down pat, but that's because he was forced to, because the quarterback was constantly putting him in situations to get his head taken off. And at that point, I didn't know what the hell was going on. And so I'm still watching more film on him so I can kind of get a better picture. But from what I've seen so far, I'm going to blame most of what I've seen from him on the quarterback's bad play. But he's another guy I think make the practice squad.
I think so too, solely because of the fact about how Campbell and Anthony Lynn was talking about how they like how their wide receivers need to block too, and right. he does that, so. But that's the only thing he does. That.
He's
real good at it though,
True, they did say they want people with one thing, so that's a good point, JGB. That's a good point.
Other than that, I don't know. Like it says right there, his route tree is very limited. So
you notice I ain't said nothing about it because I agree, and I don't like to try to make people look bad if I'm not doing the full film study to show y'all what I saw. So I try to not make them look bad, but like I said, the biggest thing that stood out to me was the fact that when it came to those contested catches, he did. But again, the quarterback was atrocious and was putting them in positions where it was like, of course he's going to look like he's good with contested catches because he has to be. The quarterback didn't throw him open. It was one play where I swear I'm surprised he took an unnecessary ass hit because the quarterback lined him up for it. And so he held onto the ball though. I give him his props. He held onto the ball. Brock Wright, I have not watched film on. I just haven't. That's probably because I didn't realize they had him until after I went to NFL.com and then I found this article and I was like, oh, we got a guy named Brock Wright. Didn't know. So now I got to watch film on him. So I got like 3 people in here I got to watch film on, but I will do that and get back to y'all on those people. Let me see. Any other questions? Don Burke called him. He called Sage one route Surrent. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think a lot of that might be what they had system, in my opinion. But I know the quarterback didn't help him at all.
What up, though?
Let me see. Make sure I ain't missing nothing. Luke, your team drafted Kyle Trask, though. And they should have. Y'all got to understand something. I was talking to Andrew, and we were talking about the Seattle Seahawks, and he was saying that the Seattle Seahawks shouldn't have took a receiver because they didn't need one. They needed an offensive lineman. I said they needed an offensive tackle. And he's like, well, they should have took one. And I'm like, but it wasn't one there for them to take. So and he's like, well, they should have took Creed and have him play guard. And I'm like, they don't need a guard. They need a damn tackle. And so at that point, he didn't understand my logic of it. I said, they got 3 picks, 2, 5, and 7. So they're treating their second round pick like a first, similar to what happened to the Bears. When the Bears only had a 3rd round pick, the first thing they took was David Montgomery, which is a good pickup by them. And so I thought that the Seattle Seahawks did good. The Bucks, on the other hand, are different. It did not matter who the Bucks took this draft because they brought back the entire team from the Super Bowl. The entire team. No matter what they took, they was not going to be wrong. And the truth is taking Kyle Trask was not a dumb move when you think about who's the backup quarterback in Ryan Griffin. So you've already null and voidly fixed that problem by having your future who can start grooming behind a guy who's a Hall of Famer in Tom Brady. And anything you take outside of those positions, it don't matter because you know that they are placeholders for when everybody else leaves. They really could not do anything wrong in this draft. They could have literally traded their whole draft this year and nobody would have killed them for it. They couldn't do no wrong. Will not be surprised to see one or two of these you undrafted free agent receivers make the team. I got 2 making the team. The rest I see trouble with. Luke, a few of those I brought up, no answer, ignore me like always. Jimbo G, you know I don't be ignoring you, bro. I rock with you. 100%, I rock with you. I just go through the thing. Let me see. And I probably made a few videos for you at this point. But I'm just behind, bro. It's just all it is. Oh, he says Amari Rob was one of the receivers I brought up to you. So yeah, I did ignore him on that one. So I'm gonna tell you why. When you sent that message to me, I was like, damn it, I'm doing a video of him right now. And so I ended up doing that one live anyway. And you saw they took my live down for that. So yeah. But yeah, that's why I was doing the video already. So if y'all ever see me ignore something when it comes to a player, chances is I probably already got the video going. Let me see. Do y'all think Afitu would be a better player right now, his better player than his brother at safety? I do. I was high on his brother, and his brother failed me. And I do think he would be a better player. What about you, JGB? You think he'd be a better player?
I don't know. I kind of like him at cornerback, big physical cornerback.
Okay.
Maybe switch Okuda to safety.
Okay, well, listen, I can't kill you for that. I can't kill you for that. But let's get into these final thoughts, man, because I got to get out of here. I got a lot of things I got to get done. So, Luke, you believe we should draft a defensive end next year? I believe that next year is going to be dictated by what happens this year. But if you're asking me would I take one in my early prelims, it depends on where the hell we picking. If you tell me we back in the top 10 or we get the first overall pick, and you tell me who that player is, I'll tell you if he's worthy of that pick or not. But just to leave it broad like that, that's too open. JGB, give the people your final thoughts for the day.
Appreciate everybody for rocking with us for this 2 hours. Luke, thanks for inviting me on. I haven't talked football like this with anybody for a good minute, you know.
I've been trying to get you on as much as possible, man. But I know you work, and I know you got a little one on the way. So again, congratulations on that.
Sir, thank you. 4 weeks. 4 more
4
weeks.
Almost there. Let me know that when the baby comes, so we can go ahead and light this thing up for you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate everybody for rocking with us. One prior, don't ride.
Hey, it is what it is, man. You know, my positive quote today comes from somebody just because I had this conversation with my man SpeakEZ. It was so funny. I know it was hypothetical, but it was still funny as hell. SpeakEZ believes that if he got into a fight against Bruce Lee, he would beat Bruce Lee up. And that Bruce Lee is not a real martial art person, that is all movies. And so because of that, I decided to do a positive quote from Bruce Lee, because I not only think Bruce Lee would beat Easy ass, I want Easy to know I still love him. Bruce Lee says knowledge would give you power, but character would get you respect. It's funny how this works. A lot of times we have people who go out and they have all the knowledge in the world. They can tell you this, they can tell you that, but they don't have character. They don't have integrity. They don't have any type of human element to them. And that's what makes them a bad person, in my opinion. Because if you can have all the knowledge in the world and you have nobody who's willing to listen to you because you're an a-hole, then you are useless to the world. So I'm imploring you to not only, one, be more than just a knowledgeable person, but to have some character, to have some integrity. But to two, to remember that you are just as human as you was the day you was born, that you are going to ever be now. I think if we find a way to balance out that human side of us, we can always be in the best possible position to be at our best self. And at that point, now when you speak, the world will listen. I say all that to say this. The Detroit Lions is a team that has not done nothing for many years. And the ultimate goal is this: to be able to one day see our team host this up so we can add this to our list and get that monkey off our back. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you are not a good person, nobody gives a care. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's my show for the day. I will be back at it again tomorrow. Hit that like, subscribe button. Haters and all, thumbs down people. I appreciate you all. You know me, I don't really get bothered by much. But as always, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out.